judge told the two parties that if a verdict is reached today, he will move straight into the punitive damage trial if time allows. Remember, the Kowalskis are suing for $200 million on several claims, including accusations against hospital staff of imprisoning Maya without legal justification and keeping Maya from her family, even over the holidays. Turning now to Wisconsin and the hit-and-run wife homicide trial, where Lynn Phillips is accused of running over her husband and leaving him to die in a snowbank.
On his face, he had abrasions, which are scrapes, and so he had scrapes on both, or abrasions on both the right and left side of his face, and then he had some blood that was coming out of his nose or his nostrils. But there was blood in the left side of the chest cavity, a little over a liter of blood there. He also had a number of fractures or bones that were broken, specifically his ribs. I mean, it tells you that when the injuries occurred, he was alive, so that the heart is pumping.
Phillips told an officer that the two had been drinking when they got into a big argument back in 2019. Yesterday, a deputy testified that at the scene, she told him, quote, "I didn't hit him or anything," end of quote. Court TV's Ted Rowlands takes a closer look at the case.
He was like always fun and upbeat, but he's the kind of the cliche of like he's life of the party.
Mark Phillips enjoyed the company of friends and the closeness of family.
We had a very good relationship. I mean, ever since we were young. Throughout high school, we hung out a lot.
After Phillips divorced in 2014, he found love again with Lori Gamoke. She would become Lori Phillips when they married in 2018. According to Mark's brother Todd, the relationship was tumultuous from the start.
She would, cause these arguments, and then they would, separate, and then they would get back together.
Mark and his brothers spent less time together once Lori entered the picture, but they remained close. So when the news of his sudden death came in February of 2019, it was a crushing blow to his family. Mark was just 48 years old.
This is really probably the most shocking part of the story. What we had known at that morning is that, he was found in the driveway. We didn't know, we thought possibly a heart attack.
But Todd would soon learn that it was no heart attack. His brother had been struck and killed in his driveway, allegedly by his own wife. Crime scene investigators found hair and fibers linked to her husband from under Lori Phillips' truck, and in June of 2020, she was charged with one count of hit and run causing death. According to investigators, when the first officer arrived on scene, he could see Lori standing or kneeling next to Mark and his body laying on the ground. But when the officer attempted to move his body, he discovered it was stuck in the snow and partially frozen to the ground. Police say Lori told them that she and Mark had had a fight the night before and she was going to a hotel. But when she could not get a room, she drove around town and fell asleep in her truck for a few hours, according to police.
Who knows how long he was there suffering? And maybe it was a minute and maybe it was 20. But, either which way, lying in a snowbank, and then she leaves him there all night long, and then pretends that she woke up in the morning and found him there. But nobody believes that story.
According to the police report, Lori denied hitting her husband. She claimed she didn't see him after she took off in her truck or when she returned home around 2 a.m.
She would have driven up the driveway right where he was laying. If you run over a rabbit, you know it. If you run over a 200-pound human, there's no chance that you don't know that.
Lori Phillips has pled not guilty and is fighting the charge. She faces up to 25 years in prison if convicted of hit and run causing death.
It's not possible that she wouldn't know that she ran him over. The story doesn't line up. If you run over a human being in that small driveway, it's not possible to not know that.
All right, what do you think? Let us know at home. And also, I want to bring in my guest for this hour, trial attorney and host out of Miami, Florida, of the Once Upon a Crime Hollywood podcast. We have Kelly Hyman. Nice to see you, Kelly. Thanks for being with us. What's your overall thoughts on this trial as we hear more and more details out of Wisconsin?
It is a tragic story. To lose someone's life in the manner in which he did is horrific. But the state has to prove the case and needs to prove every element of the crime. Did she know, or should she have known, that she hit him and ran him over? Her testimony sitting there calling 911 is very compelling and paints a particular picture. However, during the time with the police, paints a different picture as well, potentially. But ultimately, based on the facts and the evidence, what the jury hears, they will make a determination.
And they've been hearing a lot of her interviews with police and also some of that dash cam video. I wanted to get your take on it. Let's play a clip right here.
So we had an argument last night, and he was coming around the garage to come and get me, so I took off. His door was still wide open, but I didn't know that he was, like, I don't know what happened. I didn't know he was there. Oh my God.
Okay, stay here. Stay with me. Okay. Okay. Are these your footprints here? Just yours?
So I thought he was, I went to see.
Okay.
If he was, because I got up and I went to the bedroom and I went to see where he was, and so I went to see if his car's gone.
Okay.
And
okay, his car's normally in the garage?
I don't know. I always think we're talking about my car is in the garage, but when he wasn't in the bedroom. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Why don't you go with 135? So you guys just got married, you said?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
December 29th.
Okay. Okay, how long have you two been together?
3 years.
You just moved in here then? Or
No.
You've been living here for a while? Does he have any medical conditions?
He has diabetes. Oh my God, I'm so sick all the time. Oh my God, no.
Okay. It's Lori's at LOR? Okay.
My God, I came home last night and I never even saw him.
She seems so distraught right there, as if, as you would imagine a woman that just lost her partner would be. She is absolutely losing it on the 911 call, but then she's very calm in what the jury saw when the police interrogation. So I guess it's how you view these facts and how you use them for your case, right, Kelly?
Yes, in the testimony on the 911, she sounds very distraught, very upset, very struck with emotion. It appears that she is sobbing when she's with the officer as well, telling the story. She appears to be very frazzled, very upset, very emotional. States the fact that she didn't know where he was and that she left, showing that she didn't have the intent, because that's going to be key. Did she know, or should she have known that he was there and what happened to him as well? And that's going to be crucial for the state to prove.
And there was also some facts that she brought up that makes you feel for her if, in fact, she was in the middle of a domestic violence situation, because she said that they were fighting. She said she snuck into the house after she couldn't get into a hotel, and that's the reason why she turned off the Ring cameras to not make any noise. But then again, you could also look at that as like a planned act if you wanted to get rid of your partner and then not have any video evidence.
Right. As a woman, we hope other women do not use the fact or allegedly say that someone was aggressive and harming them for their benefit as well. It'll be interesting to see if there is potential evidence in her defense of potential assaults or any documentation to support that. also about her blood alcohol level. They allegedly were drinking, how much alcohol was in their system. If I was sitting on the jury, these are things that I would want to know about or really be interested to know exactly as well. I want to hear the story of from the beginning to the very end, the time of what happened and what exactly occurred. And also I wonder if her cell phone or evidence of her cell phone of where she was is going to show or prove where she was at particular times during what happened.
Yeah, Kelly, you're an expert in the trial world. What else are you watching for in this one?
I'm watching for the state, of course, to prove their case. They need to prove somehow that she knew or should have known. And I think that's going to be key. And how are they going to get that evidence in? Are they potentially going to show that she wasn't that, didn't have that much alcohol in her system, that it wasn't that high, that she was fully cognizant, fully aware? Also the fact if there was other incidents of sexual assault as well. We heard from a family member that the relationship was potentially, they were fighting a lot. Was this always something that was going on? There's a lot of questions that I want to know about.
I know, and I'm also wondering how the defense will present its case in chief, especially with the first witness out of the gate. It was the detective, the deputy that arrived on the scene, and then she said, quote, "I did not hit him or anything." I mean, it's just such a bad fact that, to me, that's very difficult to unring that bell with the jury.
Right, or is it just her saying her innocence, or is the fact that she's putting it on there on the record to have that as well? So it could potentially go, either way, that she didn't know, or she thought at that moment, she learned right then and there that potentially that he was hit, that she didn't do it, or was it the fact that she potentially did it and she stated it to protect herself of saying, I didn't do it.
All right, Kelly Hyman, you're going to stick with us. We're going to fit in a short break. And then, I just wanted to let you know at home, also, this jury in Wisconsin, they're at a lunch break. We're expecting them back in about 20 minutes, and we will take you back in there live. In the meantime, we're going to pivot to catch you up on some of our other trials that we are following, including the Love Triangle murder trial out of Texas, where Caitlin Armstrong is accused of killing her romantic rival. We'll talk about today's testimony and her internet searches. Those were interesting. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, we're diving deeper into the Gilgo Beach serial murders. What new developments are coming to light as the accused killer gets set for his next court appearance? Plus, on the docket, it's been over 25 years since beloved rapper Tupac Shakur was gunned down in Las Vegas. We'll bring you all the details in the case against Dwayne Keefe D. Davis.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
And welcome back. Now, a quick update out of Texas in the Love Triangle murder trial. Cameras not allowed in that courtroom until closing arguments in the case against Caitlin Armstrong. The state is expected to call at least 4 or 5 more witnesses before arresting. Armstrong is accused of gunning down her romantic rival, Mo Wilson. Both their families were in court today, and today was a big day. A homicide detective testified about the defendant's internet activity the days after the murder, which included deleting a search for the address where the victim was killed, creating a new Gmail account, and buying a flight to New York and another to Costa Rica. He also testified that she searched news articles in the following weeks about the killing while on the run. Turning now to Wisconsin for this story, here's a live look at the eye drops murder trial in Wisconsin, where we expect court to get underway any moment after lunch. The defense is expected to rest after calling 3 more witnesses to the stand. They have 1 left to call. The big question right now, will Jessy Kurczewski testify in this case? She's accused of poisoning a woman that she was caring for with a fatal dose of eye drops. The defense claims that the victim wanted to commit suicide. Court TV's Ted Rollins takes a closer look at this case.
Jessy Kurczewski is facing murder and theft charges that could send her to prison for the rest of her life.
The state believes this defendant has evidenced her capacity to take advantage of at-risk individuals and poses a risk to the public both through her financial victimization and ultimately violent behavior toward victim A in this case.
Kurczewski called 911 to this home in October of 2018 to report that her friend was unconscious and not breathing. According to court documents, first responders arrived to find Lynn Hernan in a recliner in the living room and a large amount of crushed medication on her chest and a plate directly to the left of her with a large amount of what appeared to be crushed medication still on the plate. First responders initially suspected Hernan had died of a drug overdose. Kurczewski allegedly told police that Hernan was suffering from mental health issues and was suicidal. When her friend died, Kurczewski became the sole heir to an estate worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just 8 days after Hernan's death, Kurczewski advertised a rummage sale on her Facebook page, offering all of Hernan's personal belongings, including furniture, clothes. Even her one-bedroom condo was for sale at a big discount. Kurczewski's behavior raised red flags with Hernan's relatives, who, according to police, did their own checking and discovered she allegedly had a history of forgery and fraud. But it was the medical examiner who performed Hernan's autopsy who raised police suspicions about her death. Toxicology results indicated something potentially sinister.
Tetrahydrozine, which is the active ingredient in most of the leading eye drops that are out there, is very lethal.
The pathologist ruled Hernan had died from a fatal dose of tetrahydrozine. The ME opined that the amount found in her blood was impossible to achieve simply by using it in the eyes and ruled her death a homicide.
It is a horrible, languishing way to die.
When police confronted Kurczewski about Hernan's poisoning, she allegedly made several conflicting statements before finally telling detectives that Hernan bought Visine in bulk and wanted her to put it in her water bottle. Prosecutors allege Kurczewski murdered Hernan to take over her assets so that she could pay off gambling debts that she racked up at area casinos. Kurczewski maintains her innocence and on her Facebook page denied any wrongdoing, saying in part, "You cannot take suicide and turn it into homicide, nor can you say money that was given was then taken." It has been 1,278 days since she passed. When will they get it right? This is not a game. This is my life.
Still with us, trial attorney Kelly Hyman. Kelly, when we're looking at this, again, it's another case of a lot of bad facts, but the jury could go three ways, right? They could go with murder, they could go with suicide, or they could go with attempted suicide. So how are things looking in your eyes?
Well, ultimately, it'll be up to the jury to make a determination. The state has told a very, very compelling story, and that is going to be key. Was that, as you brought up, Matt, was this a suicide? Or was this someone who killed someone, or was it attempted suicide? And so we have to think about that, and we always ask ourselves these questions on these type of cases. What is someone's motive? Why would someone do this? What was the reason behind potentially doing this, right? Was it the money involved? Was there, as the allegations of a serious, some type of gambling and then to pay it off? Or was the person so upset that she committed suicide? That's going to be key. It'll be interesting to see if the defense takes a stand. Ultimately, it's the defense determination of whether they want to do it or not. It is their choice. The attorney can make suggestions, but ultimately the defendant can decide not to testify or, in fact, testify in the case.
Yeah, do you think she is going to testify? What do you think?
I don't think she's going to testify, because when she testifies, that could potentially open up a lot of questions, but it's going to be her decision. And so the attorney can advise and say, listen, you are innocent till proven guilty. The state has to prove the case, but sometimes the defendant will either take their attorney's advice or not take their attorney's advice, whether the attorney says, yes, you should testify, and make that determination. But I do not think that she will take the stand. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I am just an observer in all of this. You're the expert. But the defense is putting on a case, and you might be making some points and leeway in terms of the fact that this was not a murder. And they put on a witness today that talked about the victim in all of this wanting to leave the earth. Take a listen.
Well, Lynn just started rambling off, and you could tell that she wasn't, I mean, her voice sounded like she was either sleepy or tired or whatever, but she was rattling off about the will. Then she would rattle off about a Jeep. Then she would rattle off about jewelry. Then she would... Then she started talking about how she wanted to kill herself.
3 of them. She had 3 ways she wanted to kill herself?
Yeah, 3 I remember.
How did she sound?
She sounded drunk. Yes, I felt that she was in bad shape or something. I felt that, I don't know how to put it. How do you put it? Someone wants to kill herself. How do you put it there?
Kelly, what do you think? Does that testimony move the needle at all?
Yes, that is definitely compelling testimony of the fact that helps potentially establish that she did want to kill herself. But however, did she actually go about and do it, right? It could be, there's a lot of questions by that. Was she just really depressed? Or was it potentially because of the stuff that the stuff that she was ingesting that like made her just affect her psychologically as well? But just because someone has potential suicidal thoughts doesn't mean they necessarily do it. And so I think that that's something that the prosecution will definitely bring up.
And a side note, anybody that ever struggles with that in their life, there is resources available to you. Just dial 988, please. But going on with this case, and whether or not she does testify, the jury has already heard from her in this defendant in her interrogation video, which was a key piece of evidence. Let's play a little bit.
Who put the Visine in the water?
I didn't. I swear on that. I didn't.
So how do you know there's 6 bottles?
That's what she told me. She said I put 6 in there.
And then you thought it was a good idea to give it to her? Is that what you're going with?
No, I didn't think it was a good idea.
Why did you give it to her?
Because I fought with her about it for an hour before I left, and I didn't want to keep arguing with her. She was screaming at me before I left.
You didn't tell us that before. You said you're watching soaps.
We were. And when I went to leave, she said, I want that bottle. And I said, you don't need it. I figured it would put her to sleep because she was putting in very large doses from what she told me. She told me numerous times. Every time she had her Visine, she would take about 3 bottles. And she was putting it in to 2 waters usually and her vodka. So she was putting in a good 3 to 5, 6 bottles in each one of them. It was no different than any other time in my mind. That's what she was doing. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I didn't ever put it in there, ever. She did that behind me.
I don't believe that Scott's not going to leave and just say it out. He's not going to leave yet. He's going to think you're a murderer.
I didn't murder her.
Detective, in this clip that we just watched, was that the first time that you had heard anything about 6 bottles of Visine in a water bottle?
Yes.
There's 2 pieces of paper on the table. What are those?
I believe those are scene photos.
Okay. Do you recall from the scene photos, is there a bottle of water in them? Or a water bottle in the photos?
Yes, there is.
Okay. So when Ms. Kurczewski said that bottle of water had 6 Visine in it, do you know what she was referencing?
Yes.
What was that?
The bottle that was next to Ms. Hernan, and that at the time it contained at least 6 bottles of Visine that she knew was in there.
Was this the first time that you had ever been told Ms. Kurczewski and Ms. Hernan fought for an hour and a half before Ms. Kurczewski left that day?
That was the first time, yes.
moving to slide 7, please. This is about another 15-minute clip.
No, you're the personal representative for the state, right? Here you are. Here's your signature on April 20th.
That's not for the estate, though. That's for her living will and lockbox.
You didn't do all that paperwork at the same time. So I have more pictures.
Yeah, I don't know about the personal representative, or that the will was left to me. I did not know that, no.
How did you not know that when you signed it, though?
I didn't.
So who signed this then?
I signed that. That's not for her will. This is for
Method of power.
living will. That's for the hospital.
Okay.
That's what that means. That access to medical at the hospital and her lockbox. That's all that is. I know because she had me type that up and we went to sign it at BMO Harris. That's not her will. Living will is for medical decisions. That's what a living will is. I did not know she changed her physical will. No, I did not. My mom didn't even know that. That's for medical. That's for the hospital and the lockbox. I did not know anything about the will.
All the accounts, all that kind of stuff, but you don't know that you're the personal representative?
No, I did not know that. Okay. We thought my mom was. So what is my mom?
Okay.
I didn't kill her for any financial gain, nor did I kill her.
Our boss is done with this. He wants us to be done. So this is your opportunity to...
I'm telling you 100%.
Say what you guys think make it best for you. You helped her.
I helped her.
All right, Kelly's still with us, an attorney there in the Miami area. Thanks for sticking with us. So, it just goes to your point, though. She doesn't have to take the stand. Her choice, as we all know that here at Court TV. But she gets in the statement, I didn't murder her, but she also talks about what she observed in her point of view for her defense of how this tragedy happened.
Yes, and when I'm hearing that, if she knew the fact, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if that's the case, then why didn't she reach out to someone or call someone? Or if the fact that she knew that she was suicidal, as you talked about before, like call someone to get her help and do that. Now, that's just kind of a side note of testimony, that I'm thinking about when she's talking about what happened. But she said that she did not, kill her, that there was no motivation for money, and that is key testimony. So after hearing that, I do not believe that she's going to take the stand in this case.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Now, we're going to head into break right now. It's going to be a short break, but as we do, we want to bring you live pictures out of that courtroom. The judge is on the bench right now in the eye drops murder trial. As we wait for more testimony to get underway, you won't miss a thing. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, we're diving deeper into the Gilgo Beach serial murders. What new developments are coming to light as the accused killer gets set for his next court appearance? Plus, on the docket, it's been over 25 years since beloved rapper Tupac Shakur was gunned down in Las Vegas. We'll bring you all the details in the case against Dwayne Keefe D. Davis.
Closing Arguments tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Hey, welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Matt Johnson. Thanks for being with us on this busy Wednesday. Busy in Wisconsin. Here's a live look at the eye drops murder trial in Wisconsin, where we're still waiting for court to get underway. Our crew is in the courtroom telling us that they are having discussions out of the presence of the jury about a possible juror maybe needing to be excused because they might be sick. And the big question right now, if that lady right there, the defendant, Jessy Kurczewski, will testify. She's accused of poisoning a woman that she was caring for, one of her friends, with a fatal dose of eye drops. The defense claims that the victim wanted to commit suicide. Meanwhile, pivoting to La Crosse County in Wisconsin, where it's day 3 of testimony underway in the trial for Lynn Phillips.
So we had an argument last night, and he was coming around the truck to come and get me. So I took off. His door was still wide open, but I didn't know that he was, I don't know what happened. I didn't know he was there.
She's charged with a hit-and-run death of her husband, Mark. They were married only 3 years. He was found dead in a snowbank outside of their house back in 2019. Let's get you back into court where things just got underway. The jury is watching an interrogation video. Let's watch together.
Whatever the guy's name is, Terry on the floor, and I said, yeah. He goes, of course you do. And I go, what does that mean? You know, because Mark was sitting right there, and I was like, well, what does that mean? I said, I've never been with Mark or Terry before. And he's like, oh, he's coming here, he's coming here. So then when he came, Mark's like, oh, well, Scott called him and told him to come to see you. I said, and he brought his wife? Does that make sense to you, Mark? So then when we were on the phone at one point, because I had to take, of course I didn't think of this either, when I took Adam's phone, Adam's like, he's calling me again, and I just took it. And he's like, I'm going to come back, and I am going to punch some people out. And I said, do you want me to go over by Terry right now? And you can ask him if he came here to see me. So I walked over, he said, yes. He goes, and I'm going to come and punch his face off. You know, like talking like that. And I said, Terry, I said, my husband thinks that you came here to see me. He goes, that's crazy. And I said, Mark, he said, that's crazy. So, of course, Mark didn't believe it. He was sitting with his wife at a totally different area. We weren't even near them. I was with my friends.
And you had Terry from back in the day, kind of.
Probably like I knew you, like I knew of you.
Yeah, but not really weren't ever.
Right.
And why do you think Scott thought it would be a big?
And I said, what do you mean by that? And he's like, well, you know, chapter 2 days or whatever, he bartended there. I didn't know he bartended there. Chapter 2 had so many bartenders. I didn't know that. But so that's what he was associating it with, Lori Gamoki with Ghost Chapter 2.
So this would happen when Mark would drink. Was Mark a big drinker? I mean, do you drink often, or what?
Mark works in the cities. Yeah. So Mark works in the cities Monday through Thursday, comes home maybe Thursday or Friday, and then then in the weekends we just spend time together like nonstop. We are inseparable on the weekends because we love to be together, you know.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy.
There's someone somewhere around here. Hands of allegiance to that. There you go.
We had so much fun together. That was her whole thing. He's like, I've never been with anybody where we've had so much fun.
So you got married, how long have you just got married in December, you told me, and then how long have you been together prior to that?
Since 2016.
Okay, so you've been together quite some time. So when he came back, I mean, do you think when he was up in Minneapolis, he was drinking a lot, or
No, he didn't drink at all during the week.
Working?
Never.
When he came back, you guys just kind of. Describe your drinking habits now, that when you got home, you know, go out to dinner, have a couple of drinks with friends, that kind of stuff.
And then go home.
Yeah, okay.
Normally we would, or just stay home and have, like, drinks in the hot tub, and we'd catch up on all of our TV shows.
Sure.
Like, that's always what we did.
Okay. All right. And the times that he would get in arguments with you, was there other times that he got physical with you?
Yeah, I mean, like pushing. He's never like punched me or anything. No. He's never done that. Just like pushing and stuff. He just gets so angry. He gets so angry.
Is it different things that he gets angry about, or is it other?
So he always explained it, and so that I could try and understand it. He said, if I ever feel like someone's trying to take you from me, or I'm going to lose you, he goes, I can't control what happens in my mind. He says, I can't help it. I can't help it. So when that happens, we just have to deal with it, and I'm just like, I just can't even believe that he makes these things up in his head, that he just gets in his head and he can't let it go.
After an episode like that would happen, where he'd go, like the next day, how was his behavior? Would he?
Always sorry. He was always sorry. He texted me immediately, I'm so sorry. I didn't respond because I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course you're sorry, you know, is what I was thinking in my head.
The incident last night was on a scale of other incidents. Would that be as far as the physical aspect?
He's always told me, he said, I would never ever hurt you, ever. So, I couldn't even believe it. And I'm not even gonna lie, I made a scene outside, and I'm like, you know what, you put your hands on me, I'm done. I'm never, ever, I'm done with you. You just go live your life, go. And that's when he stormed off or took the truck and just peeled away.
Were your friends anybody outside when that, your friends saw that too? Would that have been Hannah and Adam and
there was people outside smoking.
Okay.
Hannah's dad was out there. I saw Hannah's dad saw it all too. Bob Klinsky. You know, it's just so sad because it's the first time her parents had met him, and he made such a horrible impression on them.
Adam was there too?
Yep.
Was Scott out there? Or?
At that time, I don't know.
Terry or anybody else that you would have known that was with you guys? Just the so.
Yeah. There was people.
Hannah, Adam, and then Hannah's dad, Bob.
Bob was definitely out there.
Would have saw that.
Because I remember walking up to Hannah and I'm like, "Did you just see him peel out?" And she's like, "I just got out here," so I do remember her saying that.
Okay.
But when he did it, so there's a parking lot. So he tore off in the parking lot, and then when he got into Ward Avenue, then he tore off again. But there could have been people parked or walking or just anywhere. He just got so angry.
So then he peeled off after that happened.
And I said to them, you know what? I know he's going to come back. He will come back, so don't worry about it.
Had you guys left the parking lot?
Not painting a good home life here. Very sad situation all around. All right, we're in the middle of this state exhibit, this interrogation video. It's going to be key for the state's case. We're going to hit the pause button. More on the other side.
A Wisconsin woman accused of killing her friend with eye drops.
And then defrauding her for over $250,000.
The state believes this defendant has evidenced her capacity to take advantage of at-risk individuals.
Was the victim trying to commit suicide?
Or was she murdered for money?
The Eye Drops murder trial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
Last night, detectives arrested Brian Christopher Kohlberger.
An all-new Court TV special.
4 University of Idaho students were found brutally murdered.
Profiling an accused killer.
In Moscow, Idaho, it's just unheard of. If I'm the parent of one of these poor kids,
I do know that there's enough evidence.
He is the boogeyman.
The case against Brian Kohlberger. A Court TV special. Premieres Sunday night, 8/7 Central. Only on Court TV.
And welcome back. Lori Phillips is accused of running over her husband and leaving him to die in the snow. We've hit the pause button as the jury watches her very important interrogation video. It's been introduced by the witness who's on the stand, Fritz Leinfelder. He's an investigator with the La Crosse County Sheriff's Department. It's him asking the questions in the video. Let's get you back inside.
We were getting in the truck and you left, and then
We left, and then I had him bring me back because he was not sane at the time.
Okay, and that's when he was grabbed. Then he grabbed you by the neck. Mm-hmm. How far down do you think Ward Avenue?
Honestly, I can't tell you. Okay. I can't even remember where we were. Like, I was just like in awe. I just couldn't even believe it.
Okay, so then he came back and dropped you off there.
Tore off.
And then you had conversation. That's when. Hannah just walked out, and Adam.
But her dad was outside.
Her dad was outside when. Did you have conversations with Hannah and Adam about what happened?
Oh yeah, we had plenty of texts and them phone calling me in because they were worried. They're like, "I'll come get you." I said, "I'm fine. I'm going to sleep in the truck. I am fine."
We're back when you're in the dive. So when you're at the dive, so they were outside. Bob and Adam. Sounds like Hannah just had come out, so she didn't see this, but when you got back into did you have a conversation with them about what had just occurred? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then at some point, now he's got your phone at this point.
He has my phone and I have his because I always carry our phones in that outside pocket.
Okay.
He's like, "Give me my phone," and when he said that, because he always takes when he gets mad at me, he takes my phone away from me. So when he said, give me my phone, I assumed he wanted my phone. So I gave him my phone, but I still had his.
Okay.
So that's why he was calling from my phone to Adam Stevens. Then I had 4 calls in my...
Did Adam have any conversations, with him? Mm-hmm. Okay.
He did. I don't know what...
Does Adam, they live in La Crosse?
Winona.
They live in Winona.
They came just to say goodbye to us, to have dinner and say goodbye since we were leaving.
Okay. So eventually, Mark comes back. Did you talk to him before he came back, or anything?
I took the phone and I said, leave Stevens out of this. Quit calling Stevens.
Okay.
Because Stevens kept going, he's calling again, pushing it to me.
Okay. So then he came back. Did you have a conversation with him when he came back?
He was by the back door, which our table was by the, well, I don't know if you call it the front door or the back door, wherever you walk in. And not by the bathroom, it's way over there, but so front door we'll call it. And he's like, get outside now. And Hannah's like, and he kept talking like that. And Hannah's like, just go do it now. Just go do it. So he stops. So I start to come over there, and I start to walk over there, and he said something, and I can't remember. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going outside with him. So then I did.
You remember what he said?
I don't remember what he said, but
something you have to say. I'm not. So that made him more angry.
But then he calmed down after that, because after that he went to the other side of the bar, because I saw him getting a drink, and then all of a sudden I turned around, I'm like, oh my God, Adam, where is he? He was, I don't know. He was, he's over at the other side of the bar. So I'm like, okay. So then that's when he sent me the text. And then Adam had another drink, and then after I got that text.
I'm sorry, text. That's okay. I got you.
And so, Adam had a drink, and then after that they were going to leave, and I got the text. I said, you guys, I'm fine. I know he's fine now. And I walked over there, and we tried not to make a scene, so I acted like nothing was wrong in front of his friend.
Do you know who his friend was? Okay. Doesn't matter.
Somebody he hadn't seen for a long time.
Okay.
But this guy, he went on and on. He's like, I've never been this happy in my entire life. Like, she's just, I'm on top of the moon. Like, he's like, you're the real deal. Like, he kept saying, you guys have it going on. And I know we have it going on. I mean, I know we were really good. It's just when he got so angry that he just can't control himself. And I don't know why. And I said, well, you need to figure that out. But...
So at some point, you're going to leave the dive. And was there talk about where you were going to go at that point, or just how did you decide to leave? Did Mark say let's go, or you say let's go, or kind of tell me about that?
I'm assuming I said let's go.
Okay.
The guy that he was talking to him, and his wife took him too. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's just get out of here. But driving home, then he starts all over again. I'm like, you need to get over what's in your head. I said, you're crazy. You're cuckoo. Like, honestly, I did say that.
Is there any... So you went from the dive right directly to home. You didn't stop anywhere else. Arguing the whole way? Or did it stop at one point?
I don't think so. I think we argued the whole way.
Any more physical?
Well, so I guess 2 things I forgot. So when I was at the dive and I was going to leave, because he said he was going to meet me outside, I'm like, oh, you know what, fuck this, I'm just going to leave on my own, because I think he started being a jerk again. I'm like, seriously, are we going to go through this again? He's like, nope, I'm done. So then he comes out and he hits the window on the truck, and I'm like, I said, seriously? And then when we got home, he was inside, and when I was going to leave, so why was he inside? But I don't know, but he runs out and, like coming out like this. And then I'm like, no, Mark, and I shut the door. And then he's like, well, I'm going to get my stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get my stuff in. And I said, take all your stuff that you want. Take it.
So when you got home, you came in the long driveway at the house, correct? I guess
the second driveway.
The second driveway.
The M driveway.
Okay.
The M and W, yeah.
Okay. You came in there, and he got out and went inside?
Yeah. Because I remember him coming out like that, but I don't know.
And you just got to.
All right, we're going to hit the pause button right there. You're not going to miss a thing. We're approaching the top of the hour. My thanks to Kelly Hyman for being our guest this hour. Don't go anywhere. Judge Ashley is up next, and I have a message for everyone at home. Just stop talking, Judge.
Oh, so good to see you. Just stop talking. This interrogation video continues. Not taking Matt's advice. Stay tuned. Chanley Painter also joining us live on Take Care of Maya.